So in the industrial scenario, chemical problem solving means applying the chemical principles to address the real world challenges. It can be ranging from optimizing production processes to ensuring regulatory compliance. Moreover, navigating a career in this field requires not only technical expertise, but also strategic thinking and adaptability. Let's delve into this topic. So, starting with the industrial approach to chemical problem solving. In the industrial sector, problem solving is distinctly practical and results driven, contrasting with the academic research, wherein more focus is going to be or the priorities is going to be theoretical exploration. So let us break down this whole process of chemical problem solving to have a better understanding. So let me put it in this way. The stage one is going to be problem identification and definition. Understanding the problem is crucial. It is the first step, and it could be scalability issue or product quality requirement or safety aspects, etc. So it's a wide range. It can vary what is the actual problem is. But a well-defined problem sets the stage for effective solution. Once we understood the problem or we have defined the problem, the next step that we have to go is data collection and analysis. So gathering information from the historical batches or the trials conducted by the discovery team. Herein, maybe I can brief you. In the pharma sector, there are two main departments. One is the discovery department and other is the process development. So I'm into process development. So the focus is going to be the production aspects. So as we collect the data, okay, it is the foundation to understand the actual issue. So once we have collected the data, and the next step or the next stage is going to be hypothesis development and conceptual design. So we need to formulate a hypothesis based on the data that we have analyzed. This hypothesis will explain the root cause of the problem. This hypothesis will guide experimentation stage and also help us understand how to design the experiment. So once we have formulated the hypothesis, the next stage is going to be the experiment designing. So experiment designing will be focused on testing the hypothesis. So it can be changing the reaction conditions or using a different raw material, or it can be changing the crystallization techniques. So it depends upon the hypothesis that we have arrived. So based on that, we'll be doing the experimentations. So once we have designed the experimentation, so the next stage is obviously going to be the experimentation and testing. When it comes to the experimentation, our focus is going to be one variable at a time. So based on that, we will be conducting the experiments and we will be, carefully controlling the variables. Each variables will be controlled carefully. We generate data, a wide data out of this experimentation. We also check the reproducibility of this data, whether it is reproducible by conducting the several number of experimentations. So now we have done the experimentations based on the hypothesis that we have formulated. And now it comes the next stage is identifying the solution and then optimization. So once the hypothesis is confirmed based on the experiments, we move on to development of the identification. So this involves um, process alteration, it can be, or it can be introducing a new technology or revising the procedure, etc. It depends on the project. So basically, the aim is going to create an effective and practical solution. When it comes to the process optimization, the focus is going to be developing a cost-effective, scalable, and sustainable process. So these are going to be the focus once we have identified the solution and the optimizations that we are going to conduct on the particular process. Now, next comes is obviously the implementation of the optimized process. When I say that it is implementation of the optimized process, it is the manufacturing. Okay, manufacturing. Prior to going to the manufacturing, we further need to do scale down studies and stress studies. So when it comes to what is actually scale down studies, scale down study is nothing but when we are going from the laboratory experiments that we have conducted, we could execute the same thing in the manufacturing. The scale is different. It can be, huge differences there. So because of the difference of the scale, there are several factors that, we're going to come across during the execution of the manufacturing batches. So to have a better control and also to have, to ensure that nothing goes wrong, we need to do scale down studies. The scale down studies are the miniature version of the manufacturing. So exact. Say, for example, we'll be doing the reactions in the reactors. Maybe I'm sure that, okay, since you're from the, as sir mentioned, so you're from the nanoscience, so it'll be slightly different, but then I'm sure that you would have done reactions in the round bottom flask. But in the industry, it is going to be reactors because we need to have a specific RPMs, the steering speed or the level, what is the volume, several factors are there. So what we are going to do is that we do a miniature version of the manufacturing to ensure that there is nothing goes wrong. And also we are sure about what is going to happen during the manufacturing. And second things are the stress studies. When it comes to the stress studies, we intentionally make, say, for example, if a reaction is completing within 1 hour, what do we do is that we just stir it for 24 hours, 48 hours, and just analyze what's going wrong or what can happen if there is any impurity that can shoot because of the longer hour reaction time. This is one of the aspects I'm saying. But then there are several aspects when it comes to the stress studies. So we also do the, safety assessment. It can be one of the pyrophoric material if you are using. It cannot be handled the same way how we are handling it in the laboratory. When it comes to the manufacturing, the safety aspect is crucial. So we do the safety studies. And more than that, when we are going to the implementation and monitoring, okay, we need to do the documentations. Documentations involves transfer of whatever the optimized process into the manufacturing facility, and also transferring validated method of analysis to the manufacturing facility so that, it is implemented and also being monitored the way that the project requires. And during implementation, continuous monitoring is crucial. And also post-implementation, analyzing the observations and how it is different from the laboratory experiments and also the historical batches and also the current. Whether did we actually arrive at the solution and whether it has been tested properly. So that is the required. So in industry, implementation, the problem solving does not end with implementation, but continuous improvement is the key. And we need to document the lessons learned from the implementation batches and also review the process, which, we create a culture of innovation and efficiency. So this is, a very short summary of how does the industrial approaches of chemical problem solving goes ahead. I'm sure that, now you're in a stage wherein you are more interested to understand how do we navigate in a career into this field. But then at the same time, what I would tell you is that it is very important to understand what is going on. Only then you will understand what has to be done to get into this field or make a mark in this field. So I think you have a fair idea, may not be fair, but still, you have an idea how the approach of project goes in the pharma industry, or I can say that process development. So now, when we're going to the professional career navigation in the chemical industry, obviously, I would say that navigating a successful career in the chemical industry requires strategic approach, focusing on skill development, networking, and staying informed about industrial trends. These are one of the major factors that can affect your career growth or even entering into this field. So let us focus on the major areas or kind of stages, we can say. Okay. So the first and foremost, obviously, it is going to be education and skill development. So when it comes to the education, most of us have a particular, thing that, as you are asked, if you're specialized in particular subject, how do I take it up further? Whether it is going to be, how do I apply it? So when it comes to the industry, it is basically knowledge in chemistry, chemical engineering, and analytical chemistry is most important when you're executing of batches for the further. It is going to be next stage is going to be the formulation and clinical trials and all that. So definitely your skills, the education and the skill knowledge on the subject is very important, but also at the same time we need to understand that there is a collaboration between chemistry, chemical engineering, and analytical chemistry when it comes to the process development. So definitely, master's degree nowadays, definitely after a master's degree, you can get into the industrial jobs, but at the same time, advanced degrees are definitely essential to open doors for specialized roles. Further, how do we develop technical skills? When it comes to the technical skills, it is the proficiency in the laboratory techniques, practical knowledge, okay? Or it can be process design. When it comes to the process design, that the chemical engineering knowledge comes. Then industrial softwares, okay? So I think, some of the PhD students, you would have come across, how do you do the literature survey? And moreover that, we are also, having SAP. You would have, I don't know whether you have come across SAP, EDMS. These are the, for the documentation or information sharing softwares that we are using in the industry. And there are courses we know to available to learn all this softwares as well. Then it comes to the soft skills. It is equally important as the technical skills. The soft skills are also equally important. So it is the communication, the articulation skills, teamwork, or the leadership qualities. And also, it is the ability to convey complex ideas to a non-expertise and also collaborate with cross-functional team. When you are actually executing the, batches, you will have to interact with quality assurance team, quality control team, and also the operational team who will ensure the availability of several, it can be the equipment maintenance, several factors. So it is the collaborative skill is very important. Now, once you are having the education and the skills required, that is one of the basic things that you need to have it. Next comes gaining industrial experience. So for gaining industrial experience, I've heard many people saying that, why industry is not preferring any freshers. That is the reason, because ultimately, it is the commercial field. And definitely we have no time. We have no time. So that is the main reason. I'm not saying that, we're not hiring any freshers or something. There are opportunities some of the time, but it's a lesser, percentage, we can say that. So, okay, now how do we gaining industrial experience? Internships and entry-level roles. These are the two things, which will help you to get the industrial knowledge. I'm sure that I'm so happy that, nowadays, most of the universities are giving 3 to 6 months of MSc project time. So wherein you can choose some of the industries, get into industries and get the internships done. And moreover, not only that, you are having summer breaks or some breaks will be there. So during that time as well, you can explore the internships. And next thing that I would say is that how do we, once you are getting into the industry, how do you make use of it? It helps you to learn the operations which is specific, because when you're going to the academic, because I'm a person who's coming from who came from the academic research and then entered into industry, so I know both the things. So some of the operations which we will not be getting the exposure in the academic research, so those are being applied in the industrial research. So hence, definitely, if you are particular about the industrial career, definitely industrial internships are important. And it will help you to gain the practical experience, and also it will help you to build a professional network. Next, when it comes to the networking or the professional development, nowadays we are having, social networks, which I'm sure that, all of you will be well versed, more knowledge than me as well. So you please utilize all such social networks to get into the industrial career. Second thing is mentorship. Mentorship is like a mentor within the industry can offer you insights and guidance and also help you navigate the complexities of the career progression. Okay. So then comes staying current with the industrial trends, continuous learning, because it industry keeps, it's just the dynamic. It's keep updating based on the current requirements or the market requirements, I can say. So chemical industry is constantly evolving. So staying updated on the developments in the green chemistry and, as you mentioned, nanotechnology, biotechnology, everything is vital. Okay. Also, I can see that engaging in the conferences, workshops, industrial journal discussions, okay, or at least read the uh, industrial papers, publications will be definitely helpful. Next thing I would say that, certifications and courses is definitely important because as you attend, so I know as you're having a certification, it is definitely an additional advantage over another candidate. So it is favorable thing. So I don't know if any of you know about QBD, quality by design. It's again definitely an engineering aspect. But then these are the short courses that you can attend to understand further on the industrial approach. And strategic career planning. So you need to have both short-term goals as well as long-term goals. While setting the short-term goals will the short-term goals will focus on skill acquisition, while the long-term goals, objectives could involve leadership roles in the organization. Also, I would say that, please don't hesitate yourself into particular role or particular place of work or particular anything particular. Please be open to any roles or diverse, opportunities. So once you get into that, you get exposure in the different areas, then you can choose what you want to pursue further. So definitely, leadership and management. Initial period of your industrial time, it is going to be fully on the technical knowledge and how do you execute, how do you use your knowledge, how do you apply it in your practical problem solving. But when in a later point of time, definitely, learning the managerial skills is important. So you will start slowly transitioning into the management role. So having an oversight on such focus, like having a shift in focus also is important. So these are the things that I would like to tell when it comes to the career navigation in this field. So maybe to conclude, the industrial approach to chemical problem solving is a dynamic process that blends scientific expertise with practical application. It demands a methodical, iterative approach, emphasizing continuous improvement and adaptation. Similarly, successfully navigating a career in the chemical industry requires ongoing learning, strategic planning, proactive engagement, and successes by combining technical skills with leadership abilities and staying updated with industrial trends. So, thank you everyone for your attention. Thank you. Maybe now you can have your questions, I guess.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Meera. And definitely, it's very important points which you have raised for any MSc scholars or any PhD scholar who are interested in joining industries and what skills they should have and what improvement they should do. So now the session is open for question answer. Please feel free to ask any questions, or in future if you are looking for a job type of things, what things you need, just feel free to ask Dr. Meera. And I suggest first introduce yourself to the Dr. Meera, so she may be specific to your answers. So yeah, session is open for question answer. Scholar, please ask the questions. Okay, maybe some may have asked. I got some questions on WhatsApp. So the
Sure.
scholars who are in abroad or somewhere.
Sure.
So the first question is from our one of a Messi student. So she has already graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So she said that she's now not working, but she's looking for a job. So she just a basic query she asked that sometimes some reaction goes in lab scale and it doesn't go at a gram scale or even like more gram scale. As you mentioned in your talk, that RPM of the is very important. So how to optimize a reaction? Like if you are someone is thinking, okay, that reaction or experiment is very for important for maybe industry, but so how to optimize in a gram scale directly? Like when we are putting on 50 milligram scale, then directly we can try at 1 gram, or slowly we need to increase.
Yeah. So when it comes to the smaller scale and the larger scale,
Yeah, sorry. And also,
uh,
she didn't mention, but my question is also why it happens
yeah,
at a smaller scale and a larger scale. Yeah, thank
okay,
you.
yeah. So as I have already mentioned, when we are going from a smaller scale to larger scale, there are several factors which can affect. Okay. One is, as I mentioned, the RPM. Even I can say that, say, for example, you have a shaft. Okay. The level of the shaft that you have kept, what is the distance from the bottom of the reactor? That level of the shaft itself can definitely have an impact on the reaction. Second thing is that the volumes, occupancy in the reactor. When it comes to the RB, when you're taking a round bottom, okay, let me not come to the round bottom flask at all, because whenever we are optimizing a process which is to be scalable, we have to conduct the reactions in the reactors. That is one of the major factor. And how much occupancy of the total volume of the reaction masses in the reactor, that can also affect when we are going to the higher scale reactions. And say, for example, when we are going to the larger scale reaction, you will make the say, for example, the next process is filtration process. You will make the setup very much ready within no time. You will make the things ready. But that doesn't happen in the manufacturing. The time taken for each operation is longer. Each operation. I'm telling, when you are taking a particular setting up the equipment itself, it is huge difference will be there. So the time delay, how can it affect the time delay? And also when we are going for a concentration or kind of a distillation, the time taken, because the volumes are higher, so the time taken is going to be different. When it comes to the crystallization, the quantity of the product formed is different. So actually in the manufacturing, most of the time we see that we get a purer material by crystallization than in a smaller scale. So these are the several factors. There are further more factors which can affect the during the changing the from scale to scale. And also whenever we are going from uh, any particular optimization, definitely it is scalability. When it comes to it is the optimization, your focus should be on what was a problem, what was your hypothesis, and whether you are actually testing that hypothesis. So that's, I think, that's my answer. Sorry, you're on mute.
Sorry, my mistake.
That's
So
okay.
I just got a question right
Mm-hmm.
now on the chat box. Maybe you can also see uh,
Mm-hmm.
from our former PhD scholar, and now she's a postdoctoral fellow,
Mm-hmm.
Komal Patil. So can you see the chat box?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, Komal. So
Becoming more interested. How can a postdoc position themselves for such a move? How do you suggest postdoc gain relevant skills out there, specific field? Yeah. See, whenever we are going from a master's to PhD or from after PhD, when you're going for a postdoc, um, you are going to gain deeper knowledge, which is definitely required for the industry. Okay, because it is going to be the minute factors which will affect the uh, industrial standards. So your deeper knowledge is definitely valuable and which is most required. And I can openly say that if there are, some 5 students out of PhD students, a postdoc will be definitely preferred if you are definitely showing your capabilities. And when it comes to from academic to the chemical industry, definitely there's going to be a transition period because I myself took some period. Initially it was very difficult for me. um the way of approach is going to be, because that's what I just mentioned, in academic research it is going to be more of theoretical exploration, while here it is completely practical and results driven. It is based on the historical batches and what is actually required, what is going to be the next step, what is going to be the next step. For one example, I can say that um, I don't know how many of you know about polymorphism. So one of the project, what has happened is that we got the highest purity, everything was fine, everything was fine. But what happened is that the crystal stable nature, there are different polymorphs for the crystals. So we were not able to achieve the particular stable form of crystal, because it is very crucial that it is going to the next stage formulation. The solubility, the polymorph of the material is directly affected by the solubility. So, our focus is going to be that. When it comes to the academic research, you will be thinking about the what is the mechanism, how whether you can form the material, all such things when it comes to synthetic chemistry. So definitely it is going to be a transition period. Definitely you need to have, but then definitely you can do it. It's not a big deal.
So just adding like Dr. Komal, she has a very good knowledge of the nanochemistry as well as she has very good experience on the synthetic chemistry. She has done. So that's why I think she asked a question that if she applies, so what industry will look? Because she also has a very good hand on this organic chemistry. Because some of the groups, they are dedicated working on either organic chemistry or inorganic chemistry. So I think now Nandini has a questions. Yeah, Nandini, please go ahead.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Nandini, pursuing PhD in organic chemistry.
Nice.
Ma'am, recently we have heard from industry people that they prefer MSc students over PhD freshers because they have to pay more for PhD graduates, and even they will not have experience in industry point of view. Is that concept true? Or what are the opportunities for fresh PhD students in industries, especially female, because they prefer more male in industry due to physical challenges? So what is the criteria, like how they prefer female candidates in industries, ma'am?
Okay. So let me break your question as first, the major point, let me take it. Female candidates in process chemistry. I am the best example. I have 2 kids. Both the kids were born during my PhD time. So first question is going to be how are you going to manage the work-life balance? So that will be the first question. And second question, your physical fitness. I will not say it as physical challenge. We are not challenged. Okay. So physical fitness. But see, industry is not just about, or let me take it into a particular process development. Okay. Definitely, when it comes to the process development and discovery, the physical activity is more in process development than your mental activity. But then it's not that, just that. Okay. So there is no such restriction that, you cannot you will be restricted just because of your physical fitness. It's not so, because your mental ability is far more required when you're going for the industrial applications. And so the now second question is uh, PhDs over MScs. Now, we have a workforce. Okay, we have a workforce. Normally, workforce is going to be the major workforce is going to be the MSc candidates. I'm telling you from the practical point of view. Now, when it comes to the PhD freshers, you are expected to work. You should do your job, as well as you should also be able to lead your junior team or the MSc candidates. Okay, so that is what initially. That's what I was telling during the talk as well. Initially, it is going to be your technical skills which is going to speak. But on a later point of view, you need to have your leadership qualities or the managerial skills, which is going to take you further. So there is no it's just, for a project requirement, what is required? That is going to be definitely the ratio of MSc graduates is going to be more than the PhD because you're going for the next level. Okay, so definitely in any organization structure, the number of workforce is going to be higher. That is the only thing. But then there is no definite case that PhDs are not preferred.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. I think Tarun and Anusha has written. Tarun, talk insightful. I just have one question. I would like to know for courses that are required for the industry and that make us professionals. Very good. Okay, so what are the courses? So courses I was just referring to. First thing that all of you should keep in your mind is that when it comes to the industry, like when we are going to the academic, you are further going to the deeper research and deeper knowledge. So when you are going for the specialization, it is definitely better. But when it comes to the industry, it is more of collaborations, more of multiple knowledge acquisition. So I would request you, in case if you're doing obviously, yeah, you're doing your MSc chemistry or organic chemistry or nanochemistry, anything. So please have acquired knowledge on analytical chemistry as well as chemical engineering. So you can find any kind of short-term courses on these two subjects, which will be helpful for you. And moreover, the courses like, I mentioned QBD, quality by design. That is the engineering aspect. That is like, I can give you a summary, like, say, for example, in case if we want to optimize the process, just imagine that there are 6 variables which is involved in the particular process. You need to keep just imagine permutation combinations. There are going to be several number of reactions that we have to do it fine tune to get the final result. Okay, so in such cases, practically executing n number of experiments is really tedious, and also the timelines is going to affect. In that case, QBD is going to affect QBD is going to help us with the software is going to shortlist and give us the minimum number of experiments from which we can get the maximum results. That is very basic idea of QBD. So you can please take the course on QBD and also the softwares that I mentioned, SAP or literature searches and all that. Anyways, you'll be taking it. So those are the things. So next is Anusha. I'm Anusha. Currently, we're studying as a master in Jain. As you mentioned in the talk, that certification skill development is important. Can you suggest some of which trending chemical or the pharmaceutical industries? So I think it is going to be the same answer. So what are the certification or the courses that I just mentioned now? So I think it is going to answer the same way. Mukesh, hi Mukesh. Hello, ma'am. I'm a PhD student. I have experience in this CVD, the duty metals. I want to know what will be the future scope for the industrial. Okay, I am not at all into the nanochemistry. I'm particularly into the synthetic organic chemistry. So nanotechnologies nowadays, they are the emerging, applications. But then I don't think that, I'll be able to help you out like in detail or the deeper knowledge on whatever the, expertise that you're having. I'm really sorry for that. Maybe I can read on that and maybe, please message me in the LinkedIn something, some information if I'm getting, I can share it with you.
Yeah.
So I think no further
That's
questions.
great. No, I have a question on my WhatsApp. So I'm
Ah,
getting.
yeah, sure, please.
So Mukesh, you can just find and you can just we will share the LinkedIn account of Dr. Meera with you, and then you can just connect in the message about this. Somewhere, as you mentioned, I got a message. Yes, the process development is a mix of chemical engineering and chemistry.
Correct.
So how a chemistry person, a organic chemistry or an organic chemistry person can directly fit into the process development, or first they have to enter in an industry as a discovery R&D team, and then they have to, with experience, they can switch to the process development, or there is direct possibility also for a chemistry people.
Okay. So when it comes to you are an MSc graduate or organic chemist or PhD okay person, you can PhD or postdoc, anything. Okay, you can directly enter into the R&D field, and when you are handling a project, obviously you will learn chemical engineering. That is the fact. Okay, though, so that's what I'm saying. If you're already having a theoretical knowledge, okay, so it will be definitely beneficial. Otherwise, and in process development, there is chemical engineering is a must. You need to have a knowledge that, anyways, you will gain it through the experience once you after you enter it. But then before, if you're entering, if you're having the knowledge, it is an additional advantage. But then that is not going to limit you for entering into the process development.
Okay. Trilok also mentioned. So he said that PhD candidate is more preferred in the industry than the postdoc.
There is nothing like that.
Means some people are looking, okay, they are looking, okay, you want job, so why to go postdoc? Let's find a job after PhD.
Yeah.
So
So,
what's your point of view?
yeah. So no, there is no preferred over postdoc or something like that. See, both are experience after your post qualification. Okay, postdoc is also an experience. If you're having industrial experience, that is also an experience. And when you are going further, see, as of now, the minimum qualification is PhD for higher level jobs. And for the, when it comes to the secondary level, or I can say that, secondary level, it is just going to be the master's degree. So as of now, postdoc is not the minimum qualification. So postdoc and industrial experience equally are valuable. So I don't think that you are not preferred, not like that.
Okay.
Hi, Meera. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm Lavanya.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a question in related to the Trilok's question. Maybe
Okay.
the reason for him to ask the PhD or postdoc is that, see, when we do postdoc, of course, we are going to gain more knowledge. But the thing is, we'll be focused more on a specific subject. We are going to gain
Correct.
knowledge on a specific subject.
Correct.
So our knowledge and the focus is only on a specific subject area, so it is very narrow. So that could be the reason for him to ask that, maybe the industry people would prefer PhDs over postdoc or something. I'll give an example because I am working on membrane technology. So my master's was on specialization organic chemistry and then PhD in membrane technology. So after that, I'm working on membrane technology. In that also, one kind of technique for membrane technology. So I'm using only phase inversion or TFCs for membrane technology. So I'm gaining more knowledge on those aspects of membrane technology. So I have more knowledge on this subject area expertise, but not on other areas. So maybe, so when you go to industries, industry people would expect more knowledge, like broader knowledge on overall, right, process development and the optimization and stuff. So maybe that could be one of the reasons when you take PhDs and postdocs, your subject will be more subject specific knowledge will be more narrow, and maybe you focus on a one subject. And
Okay.
because
So
now I have more knowledge on membrane technology, even though my specialization was on organic chemistry, now is like I know only on membrane technology. So it's something like that.
yeah. So, Lavanya, so this is just like, as I mentioned, I didn't know anything about the chemical engineering, but chemical engineering is completely required for the industrial, execution of the batches. But then that was not a criteria to enter. That's what I meant. So your postdoc experience is definitely valid. Okay, that even industrial people, we know that, what is that? You are focused on one of the subject, and we will not be expecting, in case, say for example, I'm telling you do not have any industrial experience, but directly after the postdoc, if you're coming to the industry, that is the scenario I'm just talking about. We clearly know that. But then a person who is doing the postdoctoral experience definitely going to have, and see, our projects are also going to be with different areas. Say for example, there will be a carbohydrate chemistry projects completely. So at that time we prefer the postdocs, those who have done postdocs in the carbohydrate chemistry. They can handle that project in a better way than somebody who's having, once you are coming to the industry, you want to handle all the different areas of the project. So in such particular cases, definitely you will be preferred. So there is no, for the entering, there is no kind of a preferences like, PhDs are preferred over postdocs. Postdocs are also equally important. But the thing is that after you enter, it is up to you. How do you gain knowledge from all it's just a refreshment. I will not say, you wouldn't have forgotten your basic, organic
Yeah.
chemistry and all that. So it's just a refreshment. And also, like, additionally, as I mentioned, you can have reading on how's the industrial trends and what's happening and what are the things that they're looking for. Have a reading. That should be fine.
And also, do you do any risk assessment for the new set of reactions that you guys do in
Definitely.
the industry for? Okay.
Definitely not. But every laboratory experiments, after a 1 month scale, we need to do a risk assessment. And whenever we are going before to the manufacturing, also we are doing the risk assessment. There is safety risk assessment and also quality risk assessment. So
Okay.
both aspects will be doing it.
Yeah, and one more question I got, like
Mm-hmm.
you told about like MSc student, they can get different type of skills. They can do some of the coursework, they can do the internship. So first of all, yeah, in our center, they are our MSc scholars. They started their project work from the day one after
Very
joining.
good. Excellent.
So they get all the 2 years student. Also, with that, recently our academic committee was discussing how is it possible that we can make a like a either MOU or collaboration, and we can send our some of the MSc scholars to the industry. How your point of view, like not
Okay.
authorized from Syngene, but definitely just your opinion, how we
Yeah.
can with the Syngene.
Yeah. So, in our case, I will openly say we did take many interns to our, recent, I can say that like few months back also we had some interns with us. But the thing is that only our requirement will be, see, when we are taking a resource, we have to put, our timeline is very constrained. From the academic and industry, the main difference is going to be the timeline. So we need to put some energy to train them. So we want those students for a longer time, at least like a 6 months time. That, only then we will, we can also train that. Definitely, I'll tell you openly, we will have in our mind that if you're training that student, whether we can absorb that student, and then, that is going to be our objective. Definitely, from a industrial point of view, that is going to be the one of the objective. So what we would suggest is that if it is going to be some 6 months time, continuous time, if we can get, that is going to be definitely worth it. So definitely that is the cases we will be preferring. Otherwise, also we do give, even I remember 3 months interns were also there, but then still we prefer on a longer period. That'll be one of the preference.
Okay, that is
But
for
definitely we will be, as I have mentioned, to take the fresher just with an interview. Rather than that, we will be preferring to take an intern, train them, and then absorb them. That'll be the industrial trend.
Yeah, that might be a good news for our MSc scholar. Also, just on addition, that is for MSc. Now, the person who are doing PhD, like recently Nandini asked the question. So they are doing PhD and she is a organic chemist. So what are the chances that if our center or our faculties are agree, students are agree, they can get the internship? Or there
We
may be some restriction because they are scholars and IP in conflict type of things.
definitely, definitely that will be there. And because, see, after your PhD, we will be taking them as the leadership team. So leadership team, definitely, we will have that, IP because, they're going to get exposed into all our internal projects, and we have a lot of restrictions on sharing the data or anything. I don't think that, for the PhDs doing a internship in industry will not be beneficial. Instead, I'm telling there are industrial postdocs. That will be, I'll prefer that. Industrial postdocs, see, you're getting the industrial experience as well as the postdoc, degree. So that will be more preferable, according to me.
So what's the process for that? Like sometimes certain call comes for the industrial postdoc or during the year, anytime we can approach?
Yeah. As of now in Syngene, we do not have any, opportunities for the industrial postdocs. But then I can suggest you AstraZeneca, Pfizer. You can just see the websites. They are, offering industrial postdocs.
Okay.
Even Merck also. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Meera. Sorry to interrupt you again. I did my master's intern in Syngene. Lavanya again.
Oh,
I did
really?
my master's intern in Syngene.
Mhm.
That was in 2012, so long back.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Lavanya, I lost you.
No, she's done. She muted now.
Okay.
Yeah, and Dr. Manav, can I ask
Yeah, Dr.
something?
Ramesh. So yeah, Dr.
Yeah.
Ramesh, I think we'll first introduce you because
Yeah, myself, Dr. Ramesh, from CNMS. Yeah, Dr. Manav and me are colleague in the same center.
so he's
Yeah.
a associate professor here, and he is the research guide of Nandini who asked the question recently.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, my question is ki yes, I listened your talks from the beginning. So my question is ki since because I work in the Glenmark Research Center after my master's degree, so but that is R&D my like a small scale reaction. And what I understand there ki after the hit molecule is come out, they usually goes to the process development, and then they go for the large scale. Correct? I'm audible, Dr. Meera?
Yes.
Yeah. So, because you are basically from the some process development department, right? So, my question is I understand in process development, generally they will work on some kind of a specific route to synthesize some target molecules, right? So they have some sequence of the steps like esterification followed by the acidification or followed by the amidase, something specific steps which may be followed from some patent or some kind of concrete procedure, right? Correct. So, is that procedure you renew with the years, or it is the old procedure from longer time? Because my question is, since in the academic we are in the industry, we are always developing new methods using some sustainable or greener approach for acid coupling or amide coupling, something. So that procedure is implemented at industrial level because we publish the paper and after that we file the patent. But after that, we are not much aware whether this went to the industrial level or not. So, is the industry have some connection with the patent office? Whether this old procedure can be replaced by the newer procedure where academician recently developed? Is that kind of trend in the industry?
So, say for example, I'll tell you, when it comes to the process development, there are two scenarios.
Mhm.
One is that, already optimized process, like, as you mentioned, robust, I can say robust, but then like almost finalized, optimized process, we'll be having it. So we will have to further just fine tune the process. That's it.
Mhm.
Like say, for
Yeah.
example, to reduce the cost, we will change the solvent with the
Mhm.
lesser cost solvent, or we'll just change the volume of the, like, so that the cost will be reduced, and then we will change it to the safer raw material. Say, for example, if one of the raw material is hazardous in nature, shall we replace it with another a derivative of that, so that we will get a safer raw material usage. So those are the things, one of the like aspect, one of kind of projects that we'll be having. There is also another kind of projects wherein we'll be getting the most either we'll be getting the process which is actually not at all optimized. Okay, it'll be just like how you are starting the experiment, like just start with a baseline experiment, then you understand that okay, it's not working, then we have to go. Even that kind of projects are also handled at process development. So we cannot say that we do the literature survey, we do take the procedure from the discovery point of view, and whatever the discovery procedure that we have got, we will be completely changing it. We'll just completely change it, and a new methods will be using it, because our more focus will be in the discovery point of view, or the academic researchers, you'll be using the column chromatography for the purification. But then we do not prefer any column chromatography or the MPLC purifications because it is not scalable. So that is the aspects that we'll be considering. So in such cases, we might have to change completely the route itself. Route scouting itself, we'll do it. So it's both the aspects. And also when it comes to the patent and IP and all that, we are in a CRO, that is contract research organization. So normally we do not, file any patents. It is we are working for our clients. So that is the contract research organization. When it comes to the API, yeah, what you said is true. They have to consider the patents, available patents, and how they're going to change the process, and they are going to file the new patent over the before. So that comes to the API industry. So we are into the contract research organizations, wherein we'll be working for the clients, and this will be in the early stages of, medicine development.
Yes, yeah, I understand. Thank you for your insight. Because why I asked this question, because I want to ask the next question. The point here is if there are some queries or some kind of synthetic aspect which need to be improved, because I am typical organic chemist. So if it is the case, then can industry share their queries with the academic researcher or academician who are working in the industry, so that it can be lead to the industry academic driven some kind of research proposal which can be get some fund or something, so that we can work industry academic linkage, which is the need of time in coming days, because CSIR mostly promote that industry academic research. So
Yes.
if these kind of things can be promoted in future, so that will be the ideal platform to have the long-term linkage with the academician, with the industry. And if these things are happen, then automatically, like some student asked some question that job related something. If these things are happen, then I think automatically that job exchange, student exchange will facilitate. So I think in coming times, I think we will think about it, and it is ideal platform, I guess.
Definitely, I completely agree with you. So we need to have the industrial, university collaborations, further. But then I do not know whether that will work for a CROs. CROs, it may not work because we
Yeah,
secrecy,
it is
and they
bit,
will.
yeah, but I
It will
think
be
we
completely.
can
But then when it comes to the API, definitely what you said is true.
yeah, we
I
can
I
think,
I
because
completely agree, and I promote that.
yeah, because things will never happen in quick time. So if we keep the approach, then I think surely in upcoming years, I think this can be work out, since Syngene has the large kind of industry here in Bangalore, and we are also located here in the Bangalore. So I think we will have next step in future. Looks like, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Meera, for your answer, and yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Mano, you can go ahead, please.
Sure. Yeah, any further questions from the scholars? Okay, so maybe if you don't have any questions we got a question from Umesh.
Okay.
Uh,
How can I be the regulatory affair department as a fresher, and how you need to do the course, Umesh? Regarding when it comes to the regulatory affairs, like there is, if it is like pharma students, there is M-Pharm students, they have subject or the specialization in the regulatory affairs. So for them, whenever there is a recruitment, they'll be preferred. When it comes to the MSc graduates, it'll be always better to do a course in regulatory affairs. And how it is different from QA? No, QA, say for example, how does it work is like, quality assurance team ensures that the requirement of regulatory is implemented. That is the actual activity of the quality assurance team. So they will ensure that when we are generating the data, when we are they will have the review period of for the quality aspects, and they will ensure that we will also have the quality agreements with the clients. So based on the client's requirement, they'll be ensuring it. So that's the thing.
Okay, anyone has any questions? Okay, maybe they may write us to later, or they may ping you on your LinkedIn account.
Yeah, that's okay.
So maybe the flood of questions maybe you can get. Yeah,
Okay, in case if sometimes I may not reply some
yeah,
messages
definitely.
LinkedIn, yeah, but still most of the time I'll reply. So,
Yeah, one more thing we
and
also
just one more thing I just want to tell all of you, because in LinkedIn I get so many messages like ma'am, can you give us an opportunity to join? See, in industry it doesn't work like that. Okay, it is based on the requirement. Only then the recruitments will happen. So I have never got any messages from Jane University students, but still, I'm just telling you, you can tell your friends also. And one more thing I wanted to tell you is that whenever you're approaching a leadership person for any job opportunity, first of all, the best way to approach for the job opportunity is that you please follow the websites regularly so that you will understand the right opportunity which you need it. Okay, your expertise will fall into that. You will understand from the job description whatever is displayed, that will be the right opportunity. Second opportunity, definitely, yeah, you can approach, you messaging a person is nothing wrong in it. But then when you're messaging a person also, please you should have a proper, like, what is your background, what is your expertise, and this is my CV, and this is what I'm looking for. Always have a structured message or mails that you are sending, so that first impression itself, they will have whenever there is an opportunity, they'll keep in mind, and then they'll suggest for that, because I'm doing several interviews and all that. So that's what sometimes I don't find many of the students, they just write as if I know that person, like they just write, ma'am, do I have an opportunity? That's not the right way. So that I would like to just use this opportunity to convey this message. Yes, Mano, you were telling
Yeah.
me.
So we also have a newsletter. So we give all the information about what is happening in the center, what alumni are doing. So in that, definitely we are going to write about your talk. In that, is it possible, like just I'm asking on behalf of that Alumni Association editorial board, can we ask, you can give a like one page or one column write up that what for industrial job, what not to do? Because preparing CV, preparing, like you tell about the messages,
Correct.
what scholars should not do. Because generally they just talk to their friends or somewhere and hey, just do message on LinkedIn. So this type of thing
Correct.
they should not do. So if you just permit us, so our editorial board will just write an email to you
Yeah.
regarding that. So one column will be very helpful, and that we circulate all over our alumni and also outside of Jain University also. So whoever reads, that's useful for that.
Yeah. So I can definitely give a write up, but that is going to be my perspective.
Yeah, your
I-
perspective, definitely your perspective.
Yeah.
So maybe either Dr. Mansa or Dr. Lavanya will be in touch with you.
Sure.
So
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So as of now, I think it was really exciting and insightful talk, and I really, on behalf of CNMS family, I really thank to you, and also I want to thank you, Dr. Professor R.S. Kere,
Yeah.
Kere sir, who suggested us, sir. So thank you for suggesting such a nice and experienced researcher, industrialist. So our scholar will be definitely benefit for that. So thank you, Kerry sir, also, and thank you, Dr. Meera. And we will be in touch, and definitely we'll sometime we will invite you in person. Definitely here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
If anyone has a question, this is last chance. Otherwise, you have to ask on the LinkedIn or
Maybe next time.
yeah, next time when we'll invite her in person.
Yeah. I think, I hope for this talk was useful. So thank you so much for, your attention. And I am sure that, most of you would have expected some PPTs or slides. I just didn't want, because if PPTs and slides are there, we will be more focused on what is written in there. So sometimes we'll miss what they are talking actually. So I just thought, okay, I'll be
No,
different.
that's really great. Now they are only listening to you.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if nothing is there, so I think we can just bind up the meeting. And
Yeah.
once again, thank you, Dr. Meera.
Thank you. Thank you so
Really,
much.
thank you.
Yeah.